Welcome to the If You Ask Betty podcast. This podcast is designed to discuss all kinds of development topics for all kinds of learning professionals. I'm your host, Betty Danowitz, and today we're talking with Becky Willis about writing that book. Hi, Becky.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being on the podcast today. Could you help our listeners get to know you a little bit better? Can you tell us a quick intro about you and maybe even how we met?
How we met? That was such a long time ago, Betty. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm the Chief Learning Officer for a little company called Tractus Learning. We do all sorts of consulting for small to medium businesses. That's our whole focus. Although all of us come from a mixture of being in really big enterprises as well as other small companies, but we love working with small companies. It's just so much fun. What do I do? You asked me what I do, don't you?
I did.
Didn't you?
Yeah. Tell us about you. What do you do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in particular, I talk about strategy and engagement with all of the companies. We help them pick platforms, help with content, help with external content, the whole ecosystem, if you will. Because it's not like it's overwhelming or anything, just 700-800 different platforms to choose from.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. We've done a lot of research. We've talked with a lot of vendors, and we have, of course, a lot of really good opinions about who we like to partner with.
Yep, as you should.
My background, I was in learning at the beginning of my career. I moved into sales and marketing and did that for a long time and ended up at HP for a grand total of about 17 years, different parts of HP since it all split up. So I did sales and marketing in different divisions at HP and then left in 2000, came back in 2006 in L&D. And all of my sales team thought it was pretty funny that I ended up in HR, but boy, I sure love it. So
wonderful.
Did learning, did executive development, did OD in HP, and then went from there on to EdCast, where I was the VP of engagement. So helped EdCast sell into a bunch of different enterprises, and then helped the customers to make it work, because in LXP back then in the dark days, it was a big change. The dark days.
Yeah. And how did we meet?
I think we met at a conference.
I mean, that is the typical refrain.
Yeah.
I meet most people there.
Yeah, you and I are sort of conference girls.
Yeah, I think we've passed like ships in the night for quite a while, but I think we first really connected. Hey, I know you at Core 4 in Phoenix last year, right?
Yes. That was a great conference. I highly recommend that conference to folks.
I am a huge Core 4 fan. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, today we are talking all about writing that book. And I have book in all caps because, Becky, you are writing a book. Tell us about it.
So the title of the book is 7 Steps to Better Learning Engagement to Build a Business Impact. Nice short title.
Yeah. Only 75 words. Perfect.
Yes. It started out as something else at a conference. So ATD ICE last year, I had a talk called the 5 Steps to Better Learning Engagement. I didn't have the business impact at the end. It's one of my changes. And it was actually the most successful talk that I've given in the past decade of doing talks at conferences. It was wonderful. And I got to meet a fellow by the name of Jack Harlow at ATD Publishing. I had previously done, I should have it to hold up. I had previously done a TD at work for them.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really fun things to get to do, and that was on learning technology. And I've got it on my calendar to update that this summer, but not until the book is done.
That's fair.
Well, it's done. So Jack had said to me, we thought you'd be doing a book on technology, but we really want you to do one on engagement. Okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
Let's try that again. I said, okay, but it was a 45-minute talk, so it's going to be a very short book.
It's like it's like a little pamphlet. Yeah.
Like a TD at work.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's not. It's actually, I think it's going to end up around 200 pages or so.
Wow.
But with a lot of formulas and tables and input from friends and other folks that I've done. It's going to end up being a good piece of work that I'm actually really quite proud of already.
It's wonderful. I love when opportunities like that show up and you're like, well, this isn't what I was looking for, but it becomes so fulfilling, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I was going to ask you how you got started in writing this book, but it sounds like it's all started with Jack giving you a call.
Jack and I talked at ATD Ice.
Oh, you talked at ATD. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you like? What was your initial reaction? And like, how long did it take you to say yes? Like, was this like an immediate yes? Or were you like, let me think about it, hem and haw? Like, I'd be hemming and hawing for weeks. Like, I don't know. This is a good idea. I don't know. That sounds like a lot of work. It's dressed in overalls. It looks like work. I don't know about this.
I probably underestimated the amount of work massively. So I think, honestly, it took me like 2 minutes to think about it. Writing a book has always been really high on my bucket list. My dad, who's one of my heroes, wrote a book. He actually had 3 careers, and that was his last career, is that he wrote a book. And he self-published it. And I thought it was the coolest thing that my dad wrote a book. And so it's been on my bucket list of things to do, but I couldn't come up with what I was going to do. I thought maybe I would write a science fiction novel.
How far did you get on that?
Maybe 2 chapters.
Okay. So just give us are you willing to tell us like what was the beginning of the premise of the story?
My science fiction story?
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Dystopian future where the planet's in serious trouble.
My favorite kind of book. I'm hooked already. Yeah.
and a group of people decide to leave the planet to go off to some other planet, but it takes years to get there. So, how did the people get together? It was a protest movement, actually.
Aha.
That thing that you get sent away for now.
Yep.
And they go through all sorts of turmoil and romance and happiness and death and destruction and bad guys to get to the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have bad guys because, Betty, Spock.
Yes.
Spock is one of my heroes. Spock sits here on my desk,
Spock's
ready
amazing.
to help me at any point in time.
Do you ask him for help sometimes? Are you like
he does give me some helpful advice.
Some advice. Yeah.
Yes, that's not logical is typical thing he says to me. Yeah.
And you're like, damn it, he's right. It's not logical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea of your book. I'm sorry you only made it to 2 chapters, but who knows? You still got time. I mean, there's still time. I would totally read that book and or watch that movie for sure.
Wow, movie.
As long as there aren't like giant bugs, I don't do that.
Ooh, no bugs.
No
and no
bugs.
Snakes. I live in Las Vegas. We do have snakes, but I don't do snakes. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, when you said that, I got like chill bumps, not the good kind, like down my arm. So no snakes. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
But I love that. I love that you've always wanted to write a book and this sort of just appeared for you. And you mentioned that you underestimated the amount of work. I think most people do if they've never written a book before. How do you find time to write?
Well, first of all, I have to say that Todd Stroh-Snyder and the Tractus team have been just lovely about me finding time to do all of this and helpful.
So good to have support. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I'm truly blessed with the team that we have at Tractus. We're just a bunch of good people that care and want to do things. So shout out to those folks. It's kind of a nights and weekends and vacation. I don't know if I have it, but I had this. Here we go. Process, right? I chunked up the chapters. So I started out with 5 steps. I ended up with 7 steps because I realized that 2 of them that I hadn't put in there were really, really, really important.
Kind of
Uh,
important. Oh,
um, so I started doing research and, writing my research in this. And then I went on vacation with this book and see Mind Tools. Yay. Thank
I
you.
see.
Conference
So,
books.
okay, so for those of you listening, she's got a free conference book, which is like a little journal, and it is filled with notes. And looks like you've got sticky notes, like
Yeah, little
make your own
tabs.
index and tabs.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. 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 Thank you for NPRing that.
You're
And
welcome.
then I have a second book that when I went on vacation, I organized this a whole lot better because these were random thoughts
Yes.
and ideas. And I also created a PowerPoint of research.
Okay.
So, I have a whole bunch of heroes and people that I love to follow. I think the learning community, we're so lucky, aren't we? I
I
mean,
agree. We've got
what a
some really
great bunch of
amazing
folks.
people. Yes.
Yeah. Every other Monday, I have a meeting with real thought leaders in learning, and they've been supportive as well. They've helped, they've contributed, they give me ideas.
Awesome.
I've I have a chapter on marketing, so of course I called Bianca Bowman and Mike Taylor and said, help. I might be a marketing person in my former life, but I need your ideas. And
Yeah.
everybody, I mean, the community just stepped up. And so I have a PowerPoint of their ideas and some frameworks that they had that I get to add, which of course means that I have to go out and send all sorts of permission slips out.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm familiar with a permission slip. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be getting one, dear.
Oh, okay. That sounds fine. I'll sign it.
So, it was, I spent the summer really thinking about how can I do this past a 45-minute presentation. And I think one of the things that was really interesting to me is how my ideas and my theories evolved in the process of doing that. So,
and I love that you describe it as you were very analog, purposefully very analog. So you have your little free conference notebook with your post-it notes, and you're putting, you're making your mess of ideas, and then you're rewriting it. And that's a lost art. Like, because now so many times we just pull out our phone and we open a note, but you know what happens when you close that note? Half the time you forget it's even there.
yeah.
Because it's not in front of you. It's not a book filled with, post-it notes and tabs and, that's saying, don't forget about me. And that whole art of writing, which by the way, I've found because I write less and less, when I do actually sit down and write, it's like I'm like 6 years old again, trying to figure out how to make letters. Like, we got to practice this more.
Yeah.
I had to fill out a form for my kid the other day, and I was like, who is this person writing? My handwriting is atrocious.
Yes.
Because we don't do it anymore.
I have one of the things that I love about AI now, and I do love AI. I love technology. I've always been a geek. But I love the little things that take notes for you. Because on calls, I have this big ass notebook. I'm sorry, are we allowed to say ass on a
hell yes, please.
I have this big ass notebook and I take notes, and you know what, Betty? I can't read my writing anymore.
Oh my God, me neither. I take notes, and look at this. I'm going to show you. This is it. It's a disaster.
Well, that looks much neater than mine.
This is me really trying, like really trying. And then, or I'll go back and I don't know what those notes mean. I have no idea what that means.
No, so Read AI is what I think we're about to switch to Fathom. But Read AI takes notes for me and then tells me what the action items are that I'm supposed to do.
That's amazing.
Oh, darn, I didn't put a little arrow there.
You're like, I didn't write that down. You use arrows. I use a little box so that I can check it.
Ooh, nice.
A little box, draw a little box. Yeah. But sorry, I didn't mean to get us sidetracked, but I am appreciating geeking out about how awful our handwriting is. But like, I like that you did it analog, because like you said, like you have ideas and thoughts, but by doing that, you're allowing yourself to process them again and start thinking about, from the reader's perspective, what should this look like, and how can I present this? And the PowerPoint makes perfect sense, because at some point it needs to be a little bit more visual. At
Yes.
least that's how I would be too, because I got to like
Yeah.
I find myself even sometimes, like I'm writing a session and I start thinking about like, what are some trinkets and trash that I could give away, like stickers or whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm in Canva designing stickers, and I'm like, Betty, you should really write your session. But that creative break, like, gives me a moment to like think of it visually, and then I can go back and write better about it. So I
No,
imagine we are
absolutely.
similar in that way.
Yes. Yes. I actually, I don't know. So people who are just listening,
Yeah.
this is a little piece of paper that has, let's see, it says valuing organizational learning, and it has graphics and stuff on it.
Did you draw
So,
those?
God, no.
Okay. I can't see them. I can't see them really well, so I don't know. You should just say yes. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought this was just such a fabulous way. So I showed this to my editor and I said, I want to do something like this in there. And she's like, well, you can't have color. And initially it was color. You
Oh,
can't
gotcha.
have color. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. You can
But
do
no,
like,
we're not going to have this in there. But I am tables, and they do have an art department, and they have all that. This is the advantage of going with a big publisher, because they take care of all
I
that
take care of those things. Yeah.
pretty stuff, and make the frameworks look like, you're a professional graphic designer, which I'm not.
Me
You know,
neither.
yeah,
I did just reference Canva, and I'm not sorry at all.
yeah. I love Canva,
I love
but
Canva.
it is a time sink for me.
Well, yeah, because you get in there and every click is a dopamine hit, and you're like, I can't stop.
Yeah, look at that stuff. I can
Let's
do
have
this.
fun. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, my two things I was going to design has like 17 pages, and now I have to decide which one I'm going to use. Damn it. Yeah.
See, I knew I liked you, girl.
Yeah. See, we are very much alike. So, okay. So I love this writing process. So you sort of created your own tools, which I think is a fabulous skill to have, to be able to create your own tools. And then what about the actual like writing? So you
Yeah,
research, writing.
yeah, so then, I took my ideas from the original notebook. I organized the flow, because the flow's really important, and I did that on vacation in Greece. How pathetic is that?
Well, but isn't it interesting that you had to get away from everything so that your brain could think clearly? Like,
Yes.
I get it. And it's not really work when it's like pouring out of you. Like it's
Yeah.
just capturing it. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I put the flow together, and then it was a matter of making myself sit down and get started. But it was like you and Canva. Once I got started with it, it just bleh.
Yeah, just came right out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the hardest part was to go back and edit, and say, oh, I could add this or I could add that, and still keep the flow in there.
Yeah.
Which, according to my editor, I haven't done a fabulous job of.
Oh, well.
She's fixing it. Yeah.
That's why you have, exactly. It's a collaborative effort. That's why you have an editor. So yeah, so I was going to ask, what's the most difficult part? So you feel like going back in and just keeping the flow intact. I can totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think in PowerPoint. Okay. So I've been sales and marketing for a large part of my career. So I think in terms of bullets more than I think in text. And they're changing a lot of that, and I'm asking them to change a lot of it back. Because to me, I'm putting myself in the shoes of, I'm a learning leader, and I'm trying to learn what I'm writing about in this book. And I don't have time to read a whole lot of text. I mean, I took out a couple of books. I'm not going to actually hold them up, but there was one by a really famous guy in Europe who's a genius, and it was 400 pages of like 11-point gray type.
No, that pass.
I'm not reading that.
No.
I'm going to read bullets. I'm going to read, some initial text and all that kind of stuff. But then I want you to get down to the nitty gritty and put it in steps for me. So that's the way that I think, and that's the way I think today people have time for. And then at the end of each chapter,
No, go ahead.
at the end of each chapter, I have some graphics, just little black and white cartoon kind of things, with a synopsis of each of the central points of the chapter. So once you've read it and you're like, okay, I get it, you have this one-page synopsis of what the whole chapter is about.
So is it like a comic strip, kind of?
No, well, I don't know what the graphics are going to end up looking like when they do it. I've suggested some like cartoony kind of characters,
Something
but
like that? Yeah.
not stupid looking cartoons,
Yeah.
though. You know.
So maybe like The Far Side, where it's like profound but funny.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. Yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you remember The Far Side because most people are like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie
People
Brown and
listening are,
Snoopy. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My next door neighbor when I was a kid was the guy who wrote Beetle Bailey. Now that's going to really age you. Yeah.
Really? I used to read
And now
Beetle
his
Bailey all the
son,
time.
who I went to school with, his son took it over. I don't think he even does it anymore. So, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That was a fun little hot tip. What about what's your favorite part of writing this book?
The research. And also, realizing how strong my community is, that there are people out there that if there's something that I'm not really keen on, and that, like, for example, I'm a great believer in the learning maturity model. Josh Bersin came out with it a long time ago, and people have improved on it. And the latest version that I've seen that I love is David James, who's one of my heroes in there. And so I've added in David James's learning maturity model in there. But, I'm able to reach out to him. I mean, he's like a cool dude.
He's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so I love reaching out to people and people saying, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And you know what? In other industries, nobody's sharing.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the permission slip. You're going to give them credit. It's not like we're not going to do the right thing. But even in other industries, they'd be like, it doesn't matter. That's mine.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
do it.
stealing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll change the font or something. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to write a book? What do we need to know about that?
I was just on a call with Will. I'm going to mispronounce his last name. Thalmeyer?
Talmeyer?
Talmeyer.
I think I think it's Talmeyer. And if he's listening, let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Will, please. Sorry. He just self-published a book. And I kind of went back and forth as to what's the best way to do it. This is my first book. I mean, ATD calls TD at Work books. I call them pamphlets, but
they're like laminated, and just in case somebody doesn't know what they are, they're sort of like laminated full page size pamphlets. So they're
30 pages or so.
Ish. Yeah. So they're, Anyways, just in case somebody doesn't know, go ahead.
Yeah. This is my first book, so I needed the structure and everything that ATD brings to it. I mean, ATD has an audience. They have, they have the editors, they have the graphic designers. I don't know how Will did that. And I knew he did a GoFundMe to get it rolling that I was very happy to contribute to. His book is a fabulous book. That's another really good, The CEO's Guide to Learning, his latest book. So, I do, and my pal Bev K, another real shero.
She wrote Love Them or Lose Them. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man,
and help them
that
grow or
back.
let them go. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've worked with Bev since I was at HP. She was one of my vendors at HP. And she's written 5 books. So she's been, find your Bev in your life to help you to figure out what you want to do and somebody you can vent to.
Yeah.
But somebody who can guide you. And she uses Barrett Kohler for a publishing house. We all have the same complaints. It takes too long, but it is their support in what they're able to give you, I think, outweighs all of that.
Okay, good. Well, anything else you want us to know about your book, maybe an estimated published date? We won't hold you to it, but what are you thinking?
I'm hoping it's fall of this year. I mean,
Okay.
I'm finished writing. The editor just gave me chapter 2 to edit from her edits. And we expect to have all the edits done by the end of April. But then it's quite a long process between it's done. Mike Taylor and Bianca Bowman, I think, finished writing in the fall, and their book's coming out in May.
Okay.
So it takes a while. I'm hoping the fall, but
for sure it's definitely maybe Q1 of 2026.
Yes.
Definitely maybe.
Definitely maybe. Absolutely no question at all.
That's
yes.
right. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And it's this. Tell us the title one more time. The seven
steps to better learning engagement for business impact.
There we go. I like it. I really like the business impact part. I'm interested in that. I think that's a skill, the idea of being able to articulate how what we do impacts the business that so many L&D folks don't have, or they just look to their manager and they're like, can you do this? And really everyone needs to be able to do that. So I'm excited to be able to see what you have for that.
That's part of the learning maturity model that I've layered in there. And I'd say, I mentioned that my ideas have changed. I actually almost changed the title because of that, because really what I'm talking about is building value for learning. Each of the 7 steps is how you build value. And as you build learning value, then you move up in the learning maturity model. So it's interesting because some people say engagement, that's a vanity metric. It's like, if you don't have engagement, regardless of whether you think that that's somebody engaged taking a course or somebody engaged on the platform, whatever, if they're not engaged, then we're not going to have anything at all.
That's
so
right.
I think it's a matter of melding that in to build the value.
Yep. Agreed. All right. As we're wrapping up, I have 2 more quick questions. The first one is, what is your hidden talent?
My hidden talent, I think, is that I'm an animal whisperer.
Tell us about that.
So, are my dogs listening? No. We talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's I've actually had horses that have told me that they're in trouble, and I've told the owners. It's weird. It's only happened 2 or 3 times in my life, but it's weird enough that I go, there's something wrong with your horse.
Something's wrong. Wow. You are an animal whisperer.
But my dogs and I, we're cool. I have Cocker Spaniels. I'd show them to you, but they're fast asleep.
Yes. Yes, they should be.
And I love my dogs.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love to know that you're an animal whisperer, and I talk for my dogs. I interpret for them. I'm not necessarily a whisperer. I'm more of the master puppeteer. Like I talk to them, and then I have a different voice for them, and they talk back to me. And
of course they do.
Fun and exciting. And other people might think I need psychiatric evaluation, but nevertheless, that's their issue. They just don't live with whimsy, whatever. But I'm not necessarily a whisperer. I'm more of a interpreter.
Well, my bachelor's degree is in French, so I call it translation.
There you go. There we go. I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another book brewing here. Maybe not. Okay. How can people connect with you if they want to after the show?
LinkedIn's always really good. I will give you my LinkedIn contact so you can put it with there.
Perfect. Put it in the show notes.
Otherwise, my email is just really simple, but you have to remember the name of the company. So it's just Becky@tractuslearning.com. So Tractus means pathway.
Tractus. Yes. Tractuslearning.com. Great. Well, thank you so much, Becky Willis, for sharing your thoughts today. And thanks so much to the listeners. Watch for another episode of the If You Ask Betty podcast soon. Peace out.
Thank you, Betty. You da bomb.